Don't underestimate the power of SCOM. Yes, hello everyone. Welcome at SCOMathon 2025. We hope you're having a great time so far. Today we want to showcase you our latest offering, MetrixInsight as a service. It is a fully managed service providing observability and monitoring for Citrix EUC, end-user computing. And not only for the core level, the core components and the user experience, which is actually very, very important. However, also including the underlying infrastructure, which we think is actually the most important part of the stack. So don't underestimate the power of SCOM, connecting the dots with MetrixInsight as a service.
Yes, I totally agree with you, Marijn. Thanks for the introduction. Hi everyone, it is great to attend this year's SCOMathon again. My name is Mark van der Veer and I am Product Manager at Gridmatics. And together with my colleague Marijn Overgouw, who is Product Architect at Gridmatics, we will tell you all about our offerings and the new services we have available for you during this session. So we will start with a quick introduction about Gridmatics and our solution and services. We will elaborate on why SCOM in combination with SquaredUp is perfect for monitoring Citrix stacks, followed with the introduction and insights about our new offerings, MetrixInsight as a service, and EUC managed support and consultancy. So let's get started, shall we? To start off with an introduction about our company, we at Gridmatics are based in the Netherlands and we are a trusted partner in the end-user computing monitoring space. Whether you are using Citrix or equivalent platforms like Microsoft Azure Virtual Desktops or Windows 365, we empower organizations to keep their digital workspaces available, efficient, and high-performing by providing smart solutions and services. These will boost up the continuity and performance of your business by ensuring your IT infrastructure and applications are available continuously and can be used most optimal by your end users. In all our products and services, there is years of hands-on experience in IT consulting involved, which provide high-quality tooling and services for you. Our solutions and services consist of the following offerings I will introduce shortly. MetrixInsight for Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktops and DAS. It is our core solution where we have started with from the beginning, and it has evolved dramatically over the years. It is a bundled solution with management packs covering the monitoring for all the relevant aspects of a Citrix virtualization platform. Whether you are using traditional Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktops, deployments, or the Citrix DAS offering delivered from the Citrix Cloud. It includes all the major components, including the supporting components like licensing, Citrix PVS, Storefront, and Citrix FAS. Also, it integrates great with SquaredUp dashboard servers for SCOM, as we provide a out-of-the-box dashboard pack, and our OpenAI integration is also available for all our subscribers at no additional costs. Then we have MetrixInsight for NetScaler. It is a management pack to monitor your NetScaler ADC instances. And also this solution fully integrates with SquaredUp and our OpenAI ChatGPT integration. Last year, we introduced MetrixInsight for Citrix Logon Simulator in our portfolio. And this solution is centered on the advanced functionality of the Gridmatics Logon Simulator for Citrix, which continuously conducts and monitors synthetic logon transactions, ensuring 24/7 operation of your Citrix platform. In addition to real user logon monitoring, synthetic logon monitoring offers a proactive approach to assess Citrix environments. The two key integrations are a management pack for use with SCOM and SCOM MI, but we also have developed a native plugin for use with SquaredUp Cloud. Brand new in our portfolio offering is MetrixInsight as a service. This offering is a new managed service for Citrix end-user computing platforms, and it is powered by SCOM and SquaredUp dashboard server. We will tell more in detail about this brand new offering in a few slides later. The last one in line is our new EUC managed support and consultancy offering. a flexible service offering provided by Gridmatics for all your needs regarding end-user computing platform management and optimization. We will also tell more about this new offering later on in the session. But before we do that, Marijn, could you please elaborate for us why SCOM and SquaredUp are such a perfect fit for Citrix?
Yes, thanks, Mark. So, for that to understand, let's go to the next slide. Yes, so let's explain. Here you can see some Citrix components. And these are components that are typically part of a Citrix EUC stack and form up the core of a Citrix EUC stack, the Citrix components. And they provide data for your observability and monitoring. So yeah, these are your core components, the core components of a typical Citrix EUC stack. And yeah, obviously very important to create monitoring and good observability for. But actually the largest part of a typical Citrix EUC stack is the underlying infrastructure, which is actually formed up by components which are not even Citrix. So here, for instance, you can see the SQL databases that your delivery controllers need. Here you have DNS and DHCP, very important network services that you need in a EUC stack. Also Active Directory services for your directory service. You need file services. Obviously, you need to have hardware and hypervisors if you want to virtualize that hardware, which you probably do want to. You need networking to connect everything together. Then you have your virtual machines running on your hypervisors, and perhaps you have some VMs in the cloud like Azure. You need storage, and last but not least, Windows Server operating systems, which almost all components here run on, except for the Netscaler ADCs. Yeah, they run on Linux. No, Unix, not Linux. Since server runs on Linux. Yeah. But anyway, the point here is that the largest part of a typical Citrix EUC stack, end user computing stack, is the underlying infrastructure, which is not Citrix. But also because that part is almost always where you can find the root causes of user experience issues. So very important to monitor and create very good observability for. So what makes SCOM combined with SquaredUp so perfect for Citrix end user computing? Well, as you all know, SCOM has a rich ecosystem of management packs coming from Microsoft, third-party providers, but also the community. And this means you are not limited to one vendor's view, but you benefit from the combined knowledge and best practices of multiple specialists, each focusing on their own domain. Like I explained before, Citrix, Citrix core components, hypervisor storage, Active Directory, SQL, etc. So, yeah, this obviously creates higher quality monitoring and observability than any single vendor could realistically deliver on its own, right? Secondly, another important reason is that SCOM natively provides features such as role-based access, alert lifecycle management, and bidirectional ITSM integrations. And these capabilities ensure that not only the critical alerts are properly handled by your IT teams, but also that early warning alerts are effectively managed using SCOM's built-in alert lifecycle management and the role-based access features. And all of this empowers IT teams to proactively address issues before they impact users, resulting in much stronger end-user computing platform stability and proactive management. Thirdly, as you may know, SCOM has a really powerful object model, which makes it possible to correlate Citrix components and user experience to supporting underlying infrastructure. So you can actually connect the dots across the entire EUC landscape. For most organizations, it is probably too complex, especially when it comes to dynamically connecting all the dots, which is obviously the desired approach, to do it dynamically. However, if you do have access to the required expertise and can achieve this, you will benefit from a fully connected model that accurately reflects how all components relate within your EUC stack. And then, SquaredUp Dashboard Server for SCOM. It fully leverages this object model from SCOM, with its drill-down dashboards and perspectives. And this results in dashboards that are relationship-aware and context-rich, making troubleshooting and analysis much faster and clearer. You can share these views across all your teams responsible for all the different components of the entire Citrix EUC stack. And this all leads to a unified and uniform single pane of glass, with all the dots connected, and where everyone works from the same version of the truth, reducing miscommunication and improving cross-team collaboration. And this brings us to a very new solution, our fully managed service, MetrixInsight as a service. Everything we've discussed so far about why SCOM and SquaredUp Dashboard Server are such a strong foundation for Citrix end-user computing observability is exactly what this offering delivers. We don't just provide the platform. We design, implement, and manage the entire solution for you. You don't need in-house SCOM or SquaredUp expertise. We bring the experience, the best practices, and the continuous improvement. Even though the service is fully managed by us, it remains owned by you as the customer. All we need are a few virtual machines and access to them. We take care of the rest. So let's dive a little bit deeper into what MetrixInsight as a service actually is. So again, MetrixInsight as a service is a managed service that provides observability and monitoring for Citrix end-user computing. But not only for the core of the stack, the Citrix components of the stack. Also for the underlying infrastructure. But more importantly, it dynamically maps those underlying infrastructure components to components at the core of the stack. And the user experience level. All managed by Cryptmatics. So, this way, it provides a unified and uniform single pane of glass, giving all teams one consistent and shared view of everything happening across the platform. The EUC to infrastructure mapping and context feature connects the dots between the Citrix components, including end-user experience, with supporting infrastructure. And this is important because this enables teams to quickly pinpoint where root causes are located, whether it's in Citrix itself or in the underlying infrastructure. This way you will get better infrastructure decisions, whether this is for solving incidents, preventing them, or capacity planning. All of this is built on top of SCOM and SquaredUp Dashboard Server, meaning you benefit from the strong, proven capabilities of the Microsoft ecosystem, combined with the advanced visualizations and drill-down capabilities of SquaredUp. On top of that, it is a fully managed service, so Cryptmatics takes care of all the configurations, maintenance and day-to-day operations, etc. So you don't need deep SCOM or SquaredUp expertise internally. It is also more cost-effective than traditional single-vendor solutions, and therefore well suited for organizations looking to reduce spending on tooling for Citrix. And lastly, you get expert guidance and customization from our specialists at Cryptmatics. We help you align everything to your environment and continuously tune the platform to deliver maximum value. Now let's take a look at the top 3 benefits of MetrixInsight as a service. Benefits that really matter in day-to-day operations. First, we significantly reduce the burden on your higher skilled teams. The service provides clear contextual insights that empower first-line service desk teams to handle more issues on their own. This not only increases first call resolution rates, but also frees up your experts to focus on strategic tasks rather than getting pulled into every single incident. Second, you're able to make much better and faster infrastructure decisions because the solution maps relationships between Citrix and all the backend systems, like the hypervisors, Active Directory, storage, etc. It becomes far easier to pinpoint where infrastructure is affecting user experience. So no more guessing and no more escalations bouncing between teams. Just fast, accurate insights. And finally, it's all about improving the end user experience. By breaking down silos and offering a unified and consistent view across the Citrix environment and the underlying infrastructure, you're able to resolve issues faster and more precisely. And that leads directly to fewer disruptions, smoother sessions, and happier end users. And to show you how this actually works in real world scenarios, Mark will now walk you through a few practical examples. These will highlight how MetrixInsight as a service helps teams to quickly identify where infrastructure issues are affecting the Citrix user experience, and why that leads to better and faster decisions.
Thanks, Marijn. So you might even recognize it by yourself, but I've seen a lot of discussions occur between Citrix administrators and storage, Active Directory, or network administrators. It were discussions about the root cause of performance issues that were seen on the Citrix platform. Well, these kind of discussions and escalations really impact the time to resolutions for your end users. So I want to highlight a few examples of issues that I have seen in the field over the years and explain how MetrixInsight as a service would add value in these kind of situations. So let's start off with the first example, and that would be storage performance issues. So in this example, users report significant lag during Citrix sessions, and the Citrix team suspects CPU saturations and check resource uses on the VDAs. And the hypervisor team sees high CPU usage, so what they do, they assign additional virtual CPUs to several VDA machines. Well, this seems to help temporarily as sessions feel slightly more responsive. However, the lag returns during peak usage. Eventually, the storage team discovers high latency on a shared data store used by the respective VDAs. The added vCPUs actually masks the symptoms briefly, but didn't address the true storage bottleneck. So with MetrixInsight, the storage health would have been correlated with session performance from the start, avoiding misdiagnostics, wasted effort, and unnecessary escalations. So another example about slow logons due to Active Directory issues. So users are experiencing sporadic logon delays. The Citrix team inspects the delivery controllers, storefront, the virtual desktop agents, and performs some profile cleanups by resetting the FSLogix container for several users. And these actions seem to help a few users temporarily, as they reduce profile load time in some cases. However, the broader issue remains, and after escalation, the Active Directory team finds that the main controller has replication issues and therefore causing intermittent authentication delays. So with MetrixInsight, the Active Directory replication health would have been visible alongside logon metrics, leading to faster root cause identification and resolution. Let's do another example. An organization is experiencing intermittent session drops due to DNS issues. Users are complaining about session drops, mostly during peak hours. The Citrix and infrastructure teams investigate separately and attempt network optimizations and policy tweaks. These efforts provide limited relief but don't stop the issue. Only after involving the network team, a DNS misconfiguration has been discovered, causing intermittent resolution failures under loads. So with MetrixInsight, the DNS health would have been correlated with session stability metrics, allowing the issue to be pinpointed immediately. So let's do one more final example. User reports sluggish session performance. The Citrix team checks for Citrix policy or profile issues and disables visual settings like desktop composition to reduce resource usage. This reduces load slightly and improves perception of performance for some users, but the core issue persists. After an internal escalation, the hypervisor team finds CPU contention. Too many VMs are fighting for the same physical CPU resources. Basically, the amount of virtual CPUs are over-provisioned. With MetrixInsight, host-level CPU pressure would have been shown right next to the Citrix session metrics, allowing faster diagnosis and eliminating unnecessary tuning efforts. So let's talk about another new offering we have. End-user computing, managed support and consultancy. It is our brand new flexible service offering that can be used to outsource or strengthen a wide range of tasks for your EUC platform. And it is not only limited to Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktops or Citrix DAS, but also other EUC platforms like Azure Virtual Desktop, Windows 365, and Omnisa Horizon. For these platforms, we offer various services. Examples are consultancy and strategic advisory. So with our extensive experience and knowledge in EUC platforms, we can assist you with expert guidance to get the most out of your EUC platform. Also, we can provide tailored solutions for your monitoring and observability needs. For example, we create clear dashboards for you or build additional integrations to deliver a rich context of your complete EUC stack. But of course, we also can use our EUC knowledge to help your team to troubleshoot and perform root cause analysis to tackle problems that might exist in your infrastructure. Or strengthen your team with our services for various operational and management activities, for example, lifecycle management operations and best practices guidance.
All right, thanks all for your time and attention today. Well, yeah, we hope this gave you a clear picture of how MetrixInsight as a service can help you gain real actionable observability across your entire Citrix end-user computing stack, including the underlying infrastructure, without the complexity of managing this yourself. If you would like to see it in action, you can request a demo at cryptmatics.com/getdemo. Or if you just have some questions or want more information, just feel free to reach out directly to us at info@cryptmatics.com. We're happy to help. Thanks all and enjoy the rest of Scomathon today.